He selects one of them and catches a glimpse of Juan and Ronnie approaching him. He notices from their expressions that they are a bit scared. Smiling, he decides to take them with him, knowing that without him, they are weak and would likely die. The two of them are overjoyed and they move out together. Maple becomes incredibly furious because he originally wanted to join Lu's team, but now Lu has already chosen his squad. He decides to form a team with his other friends, but absolutely no one agrees to join him. One of them even tells him, "Don't worry, I'll stay close to you, and as soon as your corpse drops, I'll just grab it." Maple feels even more annoyed and truly lonely, realizing that no one likes him. Let's return to Lu, who we discover has chosen 3 missions. The objectives of these missions are to defeat monkeys, tigers, and crocodiles. He easily identifies the monsters' locations thanks to the drones thoroughly scanning the entire area. He feels reassured knowing that the military is present, having made preparations to ensure the students can grow without dying. He goes to collect his weapons, which consist of grenades and a handgun. He holds the handgun for a moment, then stores it away with the grenades and heads out of the base with his team. They board an armored vehicle and drive swiftly until they reach the mountains of the Grand Alliance. There, they disembark. Lu immediately summons his butterfly, which transforms into his shield, and grabs a flashlight to illuminate the path. At that moment, the monitoring drones detect that Lu's team is heading in the wrong direction and walking straight toward monsters far beyond their level. The general gets furious, yelling and ordering his soldiers to stop Lu's team immediately. One soldier suggests, "Let's just see what missions this boy Lu actually chose." The system operator opens the mission log and finds that all the missions involve killing monsters of an extremely high level, with one even being near the absolute peak of that tier. She is stunned and informs everyone, saying, "It's obvious that Lu's team is made up of a bunch of lunatics." At that point, Yang, sitting at his desk, decides to verify this. He checks Lu's profile and sees his level. This boy is not normal, but it looks like he has a death wish. However, he is far too talented to be wasted and die here. Therefore, he issues orders to dispatch rescue helicopters immediately to intervene if anything goes wrong. Finally, he stands up and says, "It looks like this base will bring bad luck to the students, and many of them will die. Let's head back to our hero." Lu's watch beeps, notifying him that he has entered the monkey territory. But suddenly, a massive snake appears in the area, slithering toward our hero with its mouth wide open, completely ready to swallow him whole. But Lu firmly extends his hand, grabs the fangs, and shatters them. The snake screams in sheer agony and tries to retreat. Lu shows no mercy. He stomps his foot hard on the ground, dashes toward the snake at a breakneck speed, and delivers a devastating blow. Absolute terror fills the snake's eyes as it desperately tries to escape in any direction. But Lu grips it firmly, stepping right in front of it, and delivers a brutal punch directly to its head, shattering its skull. The snake bleeds profusely as Lu grabs its jaw and tears it wide open. The scene is so savage that Juan and Ronnie stand completely paralyzed in shock. On the other side, the base observers are equally stunned. One of them exclaims, "What's happening is not normal. How can a person at his level destroy a monster of that caliber like this?" Yang stares at Lu and wonders, how can this boy be a summoner and yet be this physically powerful? Suddenly, an incredibly loud roar echoes, and everyone focuses on the screen. Near Lu, an absolutely colossal gorilla leaps out from the mountains, looking muscular and utterly terrifying. One of the female officers panics, stating, "That gorilla is at a tremendously high level, and even when it was at a lower level, it was already incredibly powerful." Yang begins to feel despair, knowing perfectly well that no one can face an ape with that kind of strength. He immediately radios the helicopters he dispatched, ordering them to provide backup as fast as possible. Back at the scene, without any warning, the gorilla leaps at Lu. But Lu reacts in time, blocking the gorilla's harsh fist with his sword. The clash between them creates a massive explosion. The ape pushes harder and harder, but Lu holds his ground with the help of the silver butterfly and his shield. The gorilla steps back slightly, and Lu takes the opportunity to push back harder. However, the beast was actually planning something. We see its size start to increase exponentially, reaching a towering height. With its massive fist, it strikes down to crush Lu completely.
But Lu suddenly vanishes from his spot and reappears instantly, leaping high into the sky. He descends right onto the gorilla's head with his sword, inflicting a deep wound. The gorilla screams in pain, going utterly berserk. It throws Lu off his head and begins blindly throwing wild punches everywhere. But Lu moves agilely, dodging all of its rapid attacks. He leaps back onto its body, climbing until he reaches the back of its neck. There, he delivers a rapid succession of sword strikes. The gorilla is on the verge of collapsing, but it manages to catch itself and stomps the ground furiously. A massive tremor shakes the area. Lu looks exhausted and drained, while the gorilla doesn't even seem tired yet. Realizing it's about to attack again, Lu decides to resort to his ultimate solution. He opens his hand and summons the Sword of Truth and Illusion. At the same time, he feels an overwhelming wave of exhaustion. He holds his head, feeling his soul's power significantly drained. He tries to push through it. Meanwhile, the gorilla's fur stands on end in sheer terror, though it doesn't understand why, and it stares intensely at Lu. Lu moves toward it and swings his sword from a distance. Instantly, the gorilla collapses to the ground, dying immediately. As soon as it dies, the helicopters arrive at the scene, but upon seeing what happened, they immediately retreat. Everyone in the base stares blankly at the screens in utter shock, completely unable to process it. Yang says, "That attack was incredibly fast. Lu most likely used a soul or psychological attack, but a skill like that is exceptionally rare. Regardless, I really like this kid. He didn't care about the massive level gap between him and the monster. He fought bravely, and in the end, he won without taking a single scratch. If Lu evolves, he will literally be a terrifying nightmare for any monster." He laughs heartily, saying, "I can't believe it. Finally, we still have hope." He then leaves, enters his room, and activates a jamming barrier. He pulls out a communication device and informs someone named Chong that he has discovered a human monster unlike anything he ever imagined. Chong asks, "Just how strong is this boy?" Yang replies, "If he catches you, he will literally wipe the floor with you." But Chang just tells him to stop joking around. We return to Xuan, who is enthusiastically celebrating in front of the dead gorilla's corpse, praising Lu's genius. Lu ignores him, wipes his sword, and summons Ming. The moment Ming appears, he begins devouring the gorilla's corpse to evolve. Lu proceeds to summon his life crystals and gives all of them to Ming to speed up his evolution even more. He watches the evolution bar and sees the experience rapidly surging due to this new phase. Ming's fur takes on a bizarre appearance, and as always, he is surrounded by a terrifying aura. Afterward, Lu continues his journey, moving through the forest. Suddenly, along the path, a massive tiger charges at him ferociously. Ming is ready and unleashes his power. The moment the tiger senses his aura, it freezes in terror. Ming instantly charges at it, striking it and sending it flying through the forest. The tiger's body crashes through all the trees, its face battered, and it groans in pain. Ming continues his assault, appearing out of nowhere right in front of it. The tiger is startled, jumping up quickly to run and try to escape. But Ming chases after it relentlessly, proving to be far faster. Ultimately, using his black fire, Ming burns it, leaps onto its neck, kills it, and throws it to the ground. The staff at the base, as usual, are stunned by the power of Lu's beast. Even Yang says, "Impossible! This boy leaves me speechless, especially after his beast appeared." Due to Ming's terrifying appearance, Ronnie starts to feel a bit scared of Lu, but Xuan is the only one who stays with him, looking completely happy. As time passes, they reach the center of the forest. Not a single monster dares to approach them, all terrified of Ming. Lu approaches a lake where they discover a massive crocodile. Sensing enemies, the crocodile opens its blood-red eyes and prepares for battle. Ming unleashes his power and roars back. His size begins to increase massively, and within seconds, he completely towers over the crocodile. The crocodile doesn't care and tries to attack anyway. It gets very close to Ming, leaping at him with its jaws wide open to kill him. But it crashes headfirst into Ming's defensive barrier. Despite this, it tries to apply more pressure to break through. Ming seizes the opportunity, moving quickly, raising his leg, and slamming his claws into the crocodile's back, tearing through its scales. Furious, the crocodile swings its tail, revealing sharp spikes, and strikes Ming with it. Ming is knocked backward but manages to steady himself. The crocodile uses this chance to pounce, biting Ming's face and dragging him directly into the lake. The crocodile thinks it has gained the upper hand by bringing Ming into its territory. But Ming's fiery aura literally causes the entire lake to boil. Steam fills the sky, and all the water in the lake completely evaporates. The crocodile is left with few options, so it attacks again, but Ming's barrier deflects the strike. The crocodile decides to lunge at Ming with its own body, pushing harder to break the defense. As time passes, no one can see anything because the steam keeps thickening as the lake evaporates completely. Then, Ming finally emerges standing calmly in the area. Even though Ming is under Lu's control, Xuan and Ronnie are absolutely terrified of his appearance, and even the soldiers at the base feel a sense of dread. The real shock comes when we discover that Ming devoured the entire crocodile, leaving absolutely nothing behind. Lu receives this news when his watch notifies him that the mission is complete. He says perfect, and takes his friends back to the base. There, he goes to the mission clerk. She asks, "What exactly have you accomplished?" He replies, showing her the completed tasks. She is stunned by the missions he finished and transfers a massive amount of points to his account. He gives a portion to Xuan and another portion to Ronnie, telling them, "I'll be honest with you. Your presence on my team won't benefit you at all because to evolve here, you need to fight and put your lives on the line. It's better if you join another team." Suddenly, his words are interrupted as all the screens in the area display his name, announcing him as a summoner at a certain level, now possessing a massive number of points and ranking highly. When the people in the bases see the screens, they are astonished because those points come from top tier missions, and until now, no student had ever dared to take missions above the lowest tier. Even the senior students can't believe that a mere freshman caused such a massive uproar overnight. On the other side, we shift to Mr. Feng, who is discussing with the commanders a strategy to defeat an extremely high level monster. While explaining, he is surprised to see Lu's name on the screen. He stands up, clearly agitated. His friends ask, "Do you know him?" Feng replies, "Yes, I know him." He looks deeply regretful for being stingy and losing the chance to recruit Lu to his university. Feng's friend says, "This boy seems genuinely talented, but it's bizarre and practically impossible for him to get all these points on his own. It's obvious someone was helping him." He strongly objects to the idea of assistance, arguing that Lu must rely solely on himself to hone his power and skills. Our hero is being accused here of receiving help just to boost his rank. At the same time, a black-haired young man enters the office and announces, "I've completed my mission, and I even killed a high-level lizard." One of the officials smiles and says, "Excellent job, Yun. You truly are a genius." Yun confidently replies, "Of course, I'm the best one here, and no one can compete with me." But someone in the room coughs, as there is indeed someone better than Yun. Yun catches on, looks at the leaderboard, and is shocked to see Lu ranked higher than him. Utterly stunned, he asks, "Who is this kid, and how did he get that many points?" He cannot believe a student stronger than him exists. Feng tells him, "Don't worry, someone must have been helping Lu, because it's impossible for a freshman to get those points entirely on his own." Yun feels relieved hearing this, but he still heads out into the mountains to prove he is the best and to surpass Lu. On the other hand, Lu is having a barbecue feast, recommending it to his friends Juan and Ronnie. Time passes, and the next day arrives. On this day, Lu decides to choose two incredibly terrifying, extremely high-tier missions. One of the officials discovers Lu's selection, screams, and informs everyone about the situation. Yang cannot comprehend it because Lu is now challenging an impossible rank. In that tier, the monsters are completely immune to helicopter attacks. He declares, "We will not allow this to happen. Someone must go and protect Lu, personally, right now." The official quickly notifies the teachers at the base to have someone accompany Lu. A teacher named Jiang is selected. If Lu presses the SOS button, Jiang will intervene and save him. At the same time, Lu is riding on Ming, dashing at a breakneck speed through the forest. After several full hours, they arrive in front of a massive three-headed snake. Lu summons his mysterious sword and within seconds attacks one of the three heads. Even though the head tries to react, it collapses dead instantly. The other two heads are shocked and genuinely terrified. Lu tells Ming, "Finish it." Ming increases his size and readies his aura of fire. Meanwhile, the beast moves quickly, spewing venom directly at Ming's face. but Ming leaps, manages to grab one of the heads, and bites down on it. Dust fills the area due to the intensity of the battle. The remaining head attempts to attack and succeeds, biting Ming's face. Venom begins to seep into his veins. Ming steps back, feeling the effects of the poison. He wipes his face where he was bitten. Then, he extends his claws, unleashing a tremendously powerful aura, and strikes the third head right in its face. Lu says, "I won't just be a spectator watching all this." He grips his sword, leaps toward the beast's eye, and strikes it directly. Stunned by the blow, the head crashes hard onto the ground. But the beast still doesn't give up. It swings its tail and attacks Lu with maximum force. Lu raises his sword, attempting to block the strike, but unfortunately, the beast's sheer power sends Lu flying far away. Ming becomes absolutely furious seeing Lu get hit. He charges at the beast, striking it with his claws, easily tearing through its tough hide. It doesn't stop there. Ming pounces on one of the heads, bites it viciously, and begins violently shaking the beast's entire body left and right to ensure the head is completely severed. Meanwhile, Lu gets up, steps away from the battle, and decides to stand on a rock to watch, waiting for Ming to kill the giant snake. At that moment, Jang moves quietly through the forest. Lu senses a movement nearby and swiftly dashes with his sword to attack, but is surprised to find Teacher Zheng. Jang casually blocks the attack. But remarkably, she is forced to use a portion of her power to parry such a strike, despite being at an incredibly high level. Lu retrieves his sword. Zhang clenches her fist, as her fingers are trembling and she doesn't want to show it. She tells him, "I was just passing by and heard the sounds of battle, so I decided to come take a look myself." Suddenly, they see the giant snake's severed head flying through the air and crashing to the ground. They both move quickly away to avoid the dust cloud. Ming stands proudly atop the snake's corpse, with his black flames entirely consuming it. As usual, his size increases and he evolves. At this moment, we cut back to the base, where everyone says, "Impossible. Lu is achieving things we've never seen in our lives from someone at his level." Literally, everyone praises him with intense excitement. Jing stands quietly and watches. Ming decides to return to his normal form. He absorbs the light descending from the sky, and his body shrinks back as he sits to rest for a bit. Seeing that everything is fine, Jiang decides to leave and departs. Our hero opens his watch map to check his next destination. He mounts Ming, and they set off together at top speed. Lu notices that Ming's stats have increased significantly and says, "At this rate, Ming will evolve completely in 4 or 5 days at most." Next, we move to a completely barren area where a gigantic bull emerges. Its body and hide clearly show that it is incredibly powerful. Even the strike of its hooves cracks the ground. We discover that this bull is targeting Lu because he entered its territory. Lu doesn't hesitate. He casts his enhancement spells on Ming and activates them. By this time, the bull has closed in on Ming, readying its horns to attack. It manages to strike, but Ming blocks the assault with his shield. A colossal clash occurs between the two, shattering the ground beneath them. This bull is extremely dangerous, managing to lift Ming onto its horns and run with him. The drones in the area move in, recording the entire battle. At this point, Yang issues orders to evacuate everyone in the vicinity, as the clash between Ming and the bull could kill anyone nearby. Back in the battle, Ming begins to turn the tide. This time, he is the one lifting the bull by its horns and flipping it onto its back on the ground. We notice someone watching the events from afar with binoculars. We learn that this is a team that was in the area but evacuated due to the orders. They now understand exactly why the evacuation orders were given, and they sit back to watch the epic clash unfolding before them. Meanwhile, a teacher near the area decides to help Lu, but Jang appears and stops her, saying, "This freshman is mine, and I am entirely responsible for him." The teacher tells her, "Are you crazy? You must be joking. He's going to die right now." But Jung proudly responds, "It seems you don't know that the one fighting is our genius." The teacher gets excited, saying, "It looks like we have a new monster because it's unbelievable for a freshman to face a boss of this tier alone." Exactly half an hour later, we discover that Ming managed to defeat the bull and is completely devouring it. When he finishes absorbing it, he looks around, but cannot find Lu anywhere. He moves quickly, trying to return to him. In reality, Lu is currently running for his life because a giant toad is chasing him. Ming discovers the situation, becomes furious, and moves at top speed. He arrives right in front of the toad, strikes it with his claws, and kills it instantly. Lu leans against a tree, relieved that it's over, and takes a healing potion. He mounts Ming and says, "Let's move quickly." Even though Lu has completed his mission and can return to the base, he changes his mind because the distance to the base is currently too great. He decides to utilize the area to level Ming up further, aiming for a specific high level so they can eventually enter the reincarnation prison portal. Time passes in this manner. In the middle of the night, a thunderous roar echoes through the area, causing all the nearby birds to flee. This roar simply belongs to Ming, having just defeated an incredibly high-level monster. He stands over the corpses, devouring them with his black fire. A new golden stripe appears on his leg, adding to his growing markings. On the other side, Lu is sitting down, sweating profusely. This is because his mental energy and physical strength have reached their absolute limits, and even the healing potions he was taking no longer have any effect. The reason Lu reached this state is that, from time to time, he had to help Ming because the monsters were too numerous for him to handle alone. However, Lu is very happy because his exhaustion paid off. They managed to kill 15 monsters far above their level. Ming's size increases and all his stats skyrocket. Now he can almost defeat a bull in 10 minutes and easily handle 2 high-level monsters simultaneously. Afterwards, when Lu is finished, he returns to the base. Everyone there breathes a sigh of relief upon seeing him. The female soldier couldn't believe Lu's talent, saying, "Based on the number of monsters he killed, this boy will likely have thousands of points." Yang tells her, "Get me a report right now of the highest points ever collected by students." The soldier begins searching and tells Yang, "The person who acquired the most points in all of history only had a fraction of what Lu has." She displays the statistics of all their bases. Yang says, "Excellent. This year's students are very good and evolving nicely." A graph is also displayed showing the levels of the universities. They discuss how this generation will be the new hope for humanity. The soldier then displays the current monster situations across the bases. Yang notices from the data that the monster numbers are extremely high in the surrounding bases. He says this won't do. We must do our utmost to help the other bases. Lu walks through the base and places a chip from his watch into a device to activate the points he earned. Upon activation, his ranking immediately jumps into the top 10. He doesn't pay much attention and heads back to his room. When he enters, Maple follows him inside and says, "Man, are you even human like us? You're doing things that are completely unnatural." Lu ignores him. Maple opens the news for him and says, "By the way, a lot of people are doubting your score, saying that King Kong is the one helping you and boosting your points." Lu asks him, "Who exactly is this King Kong?" Before he can get an answer, he receives a message. He checks and discovers it's a friend request from King Kong himself. King Kong sent him a message asking, "How about we hunt the fire dragon's breath together?" Lu replies, "I don't mind helping you, but in return, I'll take the life crystals and the monster's corpse." Lu decides to go with him because it's a perfect opportunity to face an extremely high-level monster.
The next day, Lu goes out and meets King Kong. Beside King Kong is a beautiful girl who welcomes him, saying, "I'm Kaisi." They introduce their third teammate, Wang, and Lu introduces himself as well. Then, they all board an armored vehicle and head out. During the ride, King Kong tells them, "Listen carefully. The opponent we're facing has royal blood, and we must be extremely cautious. The plan is as follows. Wang and I will be the attackers, and Kaisi will provide support." He turns to Lu and asks, "Exactly how strong is your beast, Ming?" Lu replies, "Ming can defeat the monster we're heading to right now." The team members are reassured by his words, confirming that choosing Lu to help them was indeed the right decision. After a while, the vehicle stops. They all get out and move together. King Kong says, "Get ready. I'll provoke the monster to draw it out, and then we'll start fighting." But Lu tells him, "Don't bother." He extends his hand and summons the terrifying Ming. The moment Ming lands, he lets out an earth-shattering roar, and all the monsters in the area flee in sheer terror. King Kong is amazed. It's the first time in his life he's seen monsters flee like this. Meanwhile, inside the cave, terrifying yellow eyes appear. Then, we see the monster emerging, stepping its giant foot onto the ground. This beast is a colossal rock monster of an absolutely massive height. It moves quickly, then stops, and lets out a terrifying roar of its own. From the scene before us, we understand that the upcoming battle will not be easy at all, because Lu and his team look almost like ants compared to this monster.